Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this today's video, as I have promised that I will be coming up with a Netflix clone by using Angular. So this is what this video is all about. So the first thing what you see on the website is that Netflix sign in, which is done by using Google authentication. So this thing I have already completed it in my previous video where I have like you can find it on my YouTube channel that how to do Google authentication in Angular project. So once you are done with this video, so you will have something like this what I just showcased it right now. So once you are till here, so what we will do, once we click on login and once the sign in is success, so this is what you will see, that we will be creating this beautiful header on the top what you see, something similar like Netflix. And after this what we will do, we will try to create this banner component also, and I'll show you what is the best way possible to create reusable components in Angular. Okay, so we will be demonstrating that also. And just below that, if you scroll right, so you can see the list of movies based on their categories, like for example popular on Netflix, so you can see all the movie list here. And these all are my carousel component what I have created by using a package swiper.js. So I will showcase you how to use swiper.js in Angular in a very effective way. Also, not just that, I will also demonstrate how do we use this CSS animation in Tailwind so that you can find this beautiful hover effect, and also to fetch all these movies. So this is all movies we are getting it from TMDB API. So I will also show you how to create an account in TMDB and you can register it to get the authenticated token, which is this header. So once you have this, I will show you how to set up this and how we can do a API call in Angular to this TMDB. Okay, and because this TMDB API provides a lot of data to us, like for example favorite movies, then we can see the TV list, popular list, people list what they like based on countries and all that. So this is what we can do by using this TMDB API. So I will try to demonstrate that, so that by using it we will get all these categories related movie, like for example popular on Netflix, trending TV shows, now playing movies, popular movies, top rated movies, and what. So get ready to be a coding wizard and impress your friends. Okay, so we'll keep this thing simple but also show you some fancy tricks to make your Netflix clone not just work great but also it should look awesome too, correct? So grab a snack and hit that subscribe button and let's make a Netflix style website together. Okay, so don't forget to like, share, and tell us what you think in the comments below. Alright, so now let's start the coding and make your website look like as cool as Netflix. Okay, so this is what we have completed in the last video, where once you log in successful by using the Google authentication, so you get something like this, and if you click on sign out and you will go to this page again. So what I need to do, right, currently once my user is authenticated, I will go to the browse page, but in the browse page I need to create a header first. So let's first target the header component in Angular. So for that, let's open up your VS Code and let me open up the source in the app. So now what I will do, right, I'll try to create the folder structure first. So what I will do, for that it will have my first folder as core, where I will have all the core components. Then I will create my feature component, or I can say page component, so I can say pages, and the last one will be the shared component. So for that I will have this shared folder. Okay, now what I can do, right, this login belongs to this login page, goes to the page. Okay, and also this browse goes to the page as okay. So now we have just changed few things here. So now in the pages I have two page, login page and browse page. And now in the core component I will create two things. That first thing I need is a header, and in that I will have components and services. So for that, let's create components folder. So I will have components. Okay, and also I can have some services, core services. So let's create that also. So open up this core folder and I can create a folder services. Okay, so that's how this looks like. So in the core I can have component and services. In the pages I have two already, so it's fine at the moment. And in the shared folder again I can create components. So let me create a component folder. Okay, and this shared can also have directives, so let me create a directives folder. Okay, so this is how the folder structure looks like at the moment. So now if I remove everything, that's how it is. Source will have app, in the app I have core, I have page, and then I have shared. Okay, so what we can do, right, shared can also have services. So let's create the services folder. And now what the auth service we have created, we can copy this auth service and place it in the services folder. Okay, and this is done, and I can delete the spec file because we are not doing any testing. So let me delete. So that's how my folder structure should look like for our Netflix clone. Alright, so here I have core, pages and shared. Alright, so just one thing before that, like whenever I was moving the folder, right, so one thing to note that this path was by default getting corrected by Angular, because it has asked me a question that do you really want to replace the path imports as well. So I said yes, so that's why I was not getting any error whenever I was moving the folder. Okay, so make sure that whenever you change the folder structure, so you need to also make it correct wherever you have imported it. Okay, so once that is done, what we'll do, we'll start with creation of the component. So first component we need to create inside this core and in this components folder. So to do that, let's open up a terminal and hit the command ng-gc for component, and we want to create component inside this core / components, and then the component name is header. Okay, so that's what I want to do. So let's hit enter and a header component will get created. See here. Now I want to create one more component, which is footer component, or I can say a banner component. So we can create as banner, and if you hit enter, so you see one more component got created here. So now I can see I have two components inside this core folder. Okay, why do I call it as core? Because if you see, right, if you see a header is only one time use. So if you see any web application, suppose it's a Facebook application, the header is always constant. Okay, so that's why that belongs to a core component. Okay, and in future I will be creating some component inside shared, so I will show you why I'm calling it as shared component. Okay, so once I create those component for you. Okay, so now let's go here in the header component and try to design it. So right now it looks quite blank. So as you already know that we have already installed and configured Tailwind CSS, so I will be using the Tailwind CSS classes. So first thing, let me create the header, and in this header let me add a class. So the first class I'm adding it as BG main. I'll tell you what is this for. Because I need to make it a black color, so that's why. So at the header will be sticky and top will be 0. Okay, now just below the header I will have my logo plus the nav items. So let me just create that. So this will be nothing but my logo. Okay, so this is logo plus the navigation items. Okay, so let's design the logo and nav items below. So to do that, I will create a div. So let me create a div. Inside that I will have an image, and after image I will have one more div, and this div will nothing but my nav options, for example home, about us, contact us and all that. So this is my div, and these are my two separate things. Okay, so now let me just show you what image I will be using. So for that I have already downloaded an image. Okay, so that image I need to put into my asset folder. So let me just grab that image. So I have an image already, so maybe I will share the link with you with the GitHub link, so that you can find this asset folder from there. So I will be using this Netflix logo so that it will be visible. So let's do here that let's add it from the assets. So to do it, right, so we can say /assets/ and to get the name, right, so what you will do, you just rename it and you can copy the name of it. So copy the name, put it here and give the extension .png. Okay, in the alt you can say that this is the Netflix logo. Okay, so that's how the image looks like, and we can give a width to the image from here itself. So let's give the width as 1110. Okay, save the changes. Let's see on the browser how it looks like. Okay, so right now see there is nothing visible because we have still this component there, so that's why. So let's go here in your code, and the header is created, right? So we need to show it in the browse component. So let's go in the browse component and import the header. So to do that, I say header component import. So this is how it is. So you just see on the top it is imported successfully. Now I can make use of it by using its selector. So I will go on the top. So header is always on top. So let's go on the top, and here I can say app-header just to see how it looks. Okay, save the changes from here, both the places, and let's see if it is compiled success. Yes. Now if you go back on the Chrome, so that's how you see your Netflix logo on the right, on the left hand side. So as you can see, there are two ways by which we can do it. So first thing, let me show you the way how we used to do in CSS. So for BG main, right, let me create a class BG main. Okay, so BG main is created, and what we'll do, we'll give it a height as 68 pixel, and let's give it a z index of 10 at the moment. Save the changes, and now I had one more, which is dark nav. So I'll say dark nav, so which is my black navigation panel, that's why. So let me give a background to it as #141414. Okay, which is a black color. Okay, and now you can add some opacity or whatever you feel, so you can do that. So but let me save the changes and let me show it to you how it looks like. So once you add that, so it is not visible because we haven't used the classes there. So we have bg main already, but we also need to add dark nav. So for that, let's add it like this: dark nav, save the changes, and it should be there now. Okay, so can you see we have this dark nav created already. Now, okay, Shashi, but we have a Tailwind configured. Then why are we using this CSS? Why are we writing the custom CSS? So I did that intentionally just to show you that a lot of people have a doubt like how to remember and how to recall all of this CSS, because I'm quite good with SCSS and CSS, but how do I add it is a class. So what you can do, right? You can go on internet and you can just search for CSS to Tailwind class, something like this, Tailwind CSS. Okay. So you can just go here, and what you need to do, right? You just have to copy few things and just paste it here. Like for example, here I have a class, right, like this. So let me just go ahead and copy these two, whatever I have created, and I can paste it here. Okay, so here you can see that you're getting a proper class how it should be. Okay, so you can just copy paste and you can just use it directly. So I can copy this. Okay, so rather than putting it as bg main, I can add it here. Okay, I can save the changes. And also for the dark nav, we have something called as bg black. I don't know, maybe yeah, bg gray. Okay, and here you can see that I can apply any one of this CSS. I can save the changes, and now if you see, right, it's still the same, correct? So now we have this black color. If you want to make it more lighter, so you can do that as well just by changing these numbers. So if I save it, so now it is a little bit lighter, but I think the dark one is quite good, so let me keep that. Okay, so you don't need to add anything like this, so I can remove this now. Okay, so that's how you do with CSS. If you don't know in the start, so you can just make use of Google, you can just convert it and you can start using it. Okay, also once you're able to do this much, right, so now let's go ahead and try to create the nav items for here. So I want to display the navigation items here. So for that, what I will do, I will make use of array. Okay, so I will make use of array here to display all the nav lists. So let me put here as nav list, and this will have all the nav content. For example, I have home, I have TV shows, so that's how I have all this list of items here. So let me make it caps. Okay, all right, so that's how I have my nav list. So what I will do, right, I will make use of these options and put it here so that I can display it in the list. Like for example, we have options right on the navigation menu to show. So that's what I will be doing. So to display the nav list inside this div, what I will do, right, rather than div, I can make use of ul li. Okay, and in this list, right, let me make use of ng for. Okay, and let's say that let item of nav list. Okay, and in this you just need to do the string interpolation to display the items. So I will just say here item. Okay, save the changes and let's see how it looks like. So as you can see, I have all this list of items, but I don't want to display it like that, right? So I need to add some bunch of Tailwind classes. So first thing I need to add it for here. So I will add a class flex, and flex. Okay, flex is fine. So I need to make it item center. Okay, so item center, save the changes. Now no change. Why? Let me just check that. So to make some changes, we need to put it here also something. So let me add a class here again. So the first class will be to make the colors and also. Okay, what I think, right, rather than changing this, let's first change here, because what I need to do, what is my requirement currently, this and this list are inside a div. If you see this inside a div, so this is the first one and this is the second one. So what I will do, right, I will try to apply flex here. So if I say this as flex, so let's see what happens. So once I added flex, so now it is side by side. Can you see? I don't know, because of the black color you cannot say it, but that's how it is right now. This is side by side. Okay, now let me add some colors to my list option. So for that, let me use that. So I will add some neutral color to it. So text neutral 200. Okay, cursor pointer and a small text. So for that, I'll say text SM. Okay, and we can say font extra light so that the font weight will be quite small. Okay, and also I can add some hover effect to it, like for example, if I need to add some text color change, so that I can do by saying text gray as 400 maybe, and I can add some transition to it. So for that, what you just need to say transition. Okay, so transition for how much second, you can also specify that, like for 1 second I want to specify the transition, and save the change. So once you add all these classes, so now you see, so you will be able to see if I hover, the color also changes to little lighter. Okay, now I don't just like it because I need some gap. So first of all, I need gap between these two, so I will put a gap by saying gap of 5, okay, which is 1.25 rem. And if I go here, yeah, that's how it looks like. So now I have a pretty good gap between each of them. Okay, and now I can say 50% of my nav bar is done. Okay, now for rest of them again, so this section is done, which is logo plus nav list. So now two things I have to do. So let me just tell what is that. So you need to show the username, like welcome user, and just after that you should have your user profile, which is your profile image. Okay, profile image, and after that you need to implement a sign out button. Okay, sign out button, something like this. So for that, what we'll do, right, we'll again take a div, okay, a master div, and inside that you will have a welcome user, something like this, a tag, which is fine at the moment, like this. And what you will say that with a span tag, or yeah, you will have a span tag, you will say welcome. Okay, and just after that you can, okay, I can add a strong tag inside this span itself, and I'll say username, which for me it's Shashi at the moment. Okay, so that's what my expectation is. And if I go here again, it is coming down because I don't have that at the moment. Okay, so welcome Shashi is there, so I need it again flex, correct? So now this is my master div, and I want them also to be flex. So what I will do, right, this is one of my div and this is my another div. Okay, so I will go here on the div and I will say it as flex. So let's see what happens. So once I add flex, so this should be somewhere here if I'm not wrong. Let's see, where is that guy? Or maybe let me just change the color of it so that this will be visible. So if I change the class as text white to all of them, so all of them will be visible. Okay, so here it is. Now what I will do, right, I need it to be center, so I will say item center, save the changes, so it should be in the center. Okay, now once they are center, I need a gap between both of them, that both of them should be between. So I will say justify between. Okay, save the changes, and now they should be apart. Can add a padding X on both side. Maybe we can add it for about 10 pixel, and so that they will maintain it, yeah, a proper gap here and here. Okay, so that's how my header looks like. And now the next thing what I needed is that the profile image. So for that, I will let me add a image just below it, the img tag. Okay, so for the source, right, currently I don't have it, so I need to take it from my Google profile. So okay, that's good that I already have this URL, correct? So let me go here in this banner, oh sorry, this header component.html. Oh no, I think it's banner. Let me just go in the banner and check if I have it. Sorry, it's in the browse, I'm so sorry. So in the browse component, we have already did a API call, right, where I have the user image profile, something like that. We are already maintaining it, so we can get it from the session storage. So if it is in my browser component, what I can do, right, I can pass it to the child component here in the header. So let me do something like that, data sharing in component. So what I need, right, I need a user profile, so I'll make it as input. So once I make it input, this will be my required field, that this is required, or else it will throw error. So let me say required as true. And what I'll do, right, so this is my user profile image, or I'll say user image. This is of type string, and I will initialize this as blank. Okay, now what I'll do, this you need to pass it here. So let's go here and do it. So this is my user image, user profile. Save the changes here as well. And now if you go on the browser, you should be able to see it once I will render the image. Currently I haven't okay, so the image is still not available because you need to put it here in the src. Okay, so this is my user image. Save the changes. After saving the changes, as you can see, I am able to render the image on the top, but I need to change the width of it. So width, I will make it as 42, and this is, let's give that alternative, this is user img. Save it and let's go and check. So as you can see, this is how it is at the moment. And now after that, I need to maintain a sign out button. So let me add some space by using nbsp. So there is something called as and NBSP. So this basically adds a space. So that's what I'm just trying to be smart and use this. Let's see what it actually does. Just wanted to showcase you something about the CSS, the HTML things. Okay, NBSP. So this basically adds a space. Okay, that's what it does. So if you go here and see, it will just add a space with the line. Okay, so we don't need to do this, we can still do without it also, but yeah, it's up to you. Okay, and then I can implement a sign out button with this as a blank at the moment, and this will be my sign out. Okay, something like this. Now what is the problem? At the moment it's all are one below the other. So how to fix them? Very easy, just make it as flex. So once you flex them, that's how they are. I need to align all of them center, so I can say item center, items center, and they will be center. And what is the next thing I need to do? Just add some gap maybe, so I can say flex gap. Okay, flex gap. Okay, this is not correct. So flex gap of, oh sorry, that's not flex gap, it's gap directly. So I need a gap of 4. Yeah, just to check how it looks. So this is better. The thing is, right, I don't need gap between these two, so I will wrap them inside a single div. Okay, if you wrap them inside a single div, so these two will be together and make this div as flex. Okay, and this will be items center again. So that's how they are. And let me put a small gap, not a big gap, a small gap of 2. So that's how they are. And I already added a space here, right? So NBSP, so I have 2 space here already, and that's how it shows. Welcome the user. Sorry, I have added the blank, right? So href tag, because of that it is going back. Okay, let me log in, and so that it will maintain the user image. Okay, now that's how it is. So now I have the welcome Shashi with my profile, and I have NBSP space with a sign. Okay, that's how it looks like. So I can say that my header is ready. Now my job is to make the banner component. So let's see how to create the banner component. So to create the banner component, what we will do, let's go in the SRC, in the app, and we will create that inside core. Okay, so in the core we have components. This is banner. Let's open up the HTML, which is open here. So to create the banner, right, we need 2 things. Okay, so we will first focus on creating the background video, so that it will make, so that what we will do, that we'll make use of iframe with a YouTube video URL, so that it will act as my trailer of videos or trailer of movie. And after that we have to create a layer above it. Okay, so that layer will act as like where I can showcase my title and description of the video. Okay, a description of the trailer, something like that. Okay, so do so, right? So first let's create the iframe thing. So I will have my iframe here, and in this SRC I will make use of YouTube video URL. So basically you will require something URL like this, where you have http://www.google.com/embed, and after this you need to pass in the ID of a video. Like suppose you have a trailer, so for an example, I can give an example, right? For example, I want to show this trailer, right? So if you see on the top, so on the top you can see that there is something called as the ID of that video. So you can copy this and you can paste it here. Okay, so that's what I did. Now once I did this, right, let's save the changes and let's see how the UI looks like. So for that, let me run the application. So I did ng-serve. Let me open up my browser, and here localhost 4200. Let's click on sign in, and now here I still see that because we haven't updated the the component yet, right? So let's do one thing. This is our banner component which is created already. So now what we'll do, let's go inside your pages and the browse, because here I want to display it. So I will first go ahead and import the banner component. So this is my banner component import. So imported successfully, and now I don't require this, right? So what I have created previously, the card, I don't need this anymore, so I can remove it. Okay, so now just below that I will display the app-banner. Okay, and now this should display something on the URL. So let's save the changes now. Now can you see I'm getting a trailer here, correct? And I can also able to play this here. See, this is how I embedded the video. Okay, so now what I will do, right, I'll have to make the, like, this should be like complete width and height. It should take the complete width and height. So for that, what I'll do, right, I'll give some bunch of CSS classes basically of Tailwind. So this will be my W screen. Okay, and aspect ratio I'll give it as auto. Okay, let's go here. So now it takes the proper width of it, so this is fine at the moment. Now what's next thing I will do, right, I need to specify the screen size also. So I'll say edge screen, so edge screen max. So we have all these options, right? So we can say edge screen, so we should take all the height of this. Okay, something like now what rather what I can do, right, maybe I don't need I need some percentage, not the viewport. So what I'll say, right, view height. So what I will do, I'll just say here iframe. Okay, and over here I'll give it as a width of 100% and I will give height of 100%. Okay, and the position of this image will be absolute, like the iframe will be absolute, so that it will take the entire screen of it. So now if I save it, so I don't have any scroll bar here. If you see, right, I don't have the horizontal scroll bar anymore. Okay, so now that's how this the page looks like. Now what I need, right, just below it I need that what do we say, the option where I can show the title somewhere here and description of this movie. Okay, something like that. So to do so, right, again let's take another div. Okay, and in this div I will add the CSS the Tailwind class, which is edge screen, should take the complete height and BG white. Okay, BG white you can add. All right, now just below this I will take the another div, and in this div I will have my H1, and just below it I will have my P tag, which will be the overview of the movie. So let me add some lorem of 50. Okay, some 50 words. Okay, and then here I will have my title, that animal. I don't know if this is correct. Yeah, animal. That's it. Okay, save the changes. Now let's go and see how, where is my data. I still can't see it here, right, because I need to write some here, some more classes. So for that, let me just give some padding. So padding I want to give as 20%, so I can say padding 20%. Let me add some padding X of 6 and padding, I think let's make it 24. Okay, padding 6 will not be enough, so let me add 24. Okay, and then this will be absolute, this will be absolute. Text I want to make it as white, and let's apply a gradient color. So by this is the good thing what I am teaching you, right? So here you can apply a gradient color. So see, there is some option, gradient color 2. Okay, so I want to say to right. Okay, to R means to right. Okay, and after that you can specify the color, from which color you want to say, from black. Okay, so that's what you can say here. Save the changes and let's see. Can you see now I have a black color kind of a gradient here, and I can see a description, a title and a description. Let me specify some class to my title. So let's make this as text 3XL or maybe 6XL, a little bigger one. Okay, and what else I can add? I can add a font weight to it, like font should be bold, so font bold, so that this is my title. Okay, looks perfect. And now for description, correct, let me add something. Okay, let's add the class, this should be inline block. Okay, padding I can give it as padding 1. Okay, padding 1 6. Text I can give as extra large or text LG, XL, fine. Width I can specify as 1/4. Okay, which means 25% it will take width. And let's wrap the text, so I can say flex wrap, so it will wrap all the text. Okay, so that's how it is now. So I have this title and I have a description over here. Okay, now now you can see that you cannot click on this trailer and the trailer is not running, correct? Because the problem is that what you need to do, right? So there are some bunch of configuration what you can add to your SRC. Okay, okay, I'll just show you one of them. Suppose for example you want to say it as autoplay. Okay, so this will do autoplay. So for that you just say here autoplay equals to 1. Okay, let me also mute it. So mute should be 1, it should be muted, and I can run the loop. Okay, so to run the loop I will say loop equals 1. Okay, save the changes. Let's go here, and now can you see the trailer is working on the behind. Okay, so the trailer is working now. Now what I need, right, I just need 2 buttons here. Okay, so let me add those 2 buttons also. So just below this P tag, right, I will add those 2 buttons. So for adding those buttons, I will again take another div, and this div will consist of those 2 buttons. So button 1 button and one more button for, let me tell you what is the description of it. So this is my more info, and this will be my play button. Okay, so you can also add some icons or anything if you want, so you can get that also. Let me add this at the moment, so this will look like an icon for me. Okay, so this is my play button, and let's add some classes here. So let's add a class. So let's make it as PG white. Text should be black, correct? And let's give padding Y as 1. PY1 is very small, so let me add padding Y. Let's add this, like padding on x-axis should be 12. Okay, and let's make text as large. Okay, rounded. So I want to create a rounded button, so I will say it like this. So let me just show you how it looks like. See, this is what I was talking about. Okay, all I need to do is let me add some more hover effects on it. So we can add some hover effect that whenever I'm hovering on it, so the opacity will be little less. So just like Netflix. So we will have this hover, and on hover I want to make the BG opacity to maybe 70%. Okay, let's see. So if I hover, right, so I'm changing the opacity. Okay, if you wish to add transition, so you can add transition also, transition. Okay, so you can add transition and you can specify it for how much seconds you need. So that's how you can do. So you can add some transition to it also. That's it. Now what else you can do? We need to do it for this one also. Let's again some we need to add some classes. So for this one, right, let's first start with margin X. Okay, so you need to specify the margin X so that there should be some gap between those two buttons. Let's add the background as BG gray. So if it is gray, then the text should be white, correct? Padding X we can add as 12. Okay, let's add some padding Y also, padding Y to 4 something, and text should be large, so text XL, same like the above. Okay, and then BG, you can add any opacity what you feel. Okay, so for this one I will add a little less opacity, so BG opacity, because this is already gray, so I will add opacity of 50. And this is my rounded button, so rounded LG. Okay, both are same. So now if you see here, right, so that's how my play button and more info buttons look. So now as you can see, right, now I am able to see the trailer behind. Now I don't need these options to be enabled, so that I cannot change all of this. So to do that, right, because I should not be able to change those, so what I will do, right, so again I can put here as one more and. So this is what the configuration I'm trying to add. So I can say controls. Okay, so I can say controls equals to 0. Okay, so maybe if I add that, so I should not be able to use the control. See, I'm not able to use the control now anymore. All right, so here if you see, right, our banner component is ready, and I just saw some small problem here. If you have noticed, so you can see there is a gap here. If I try to click here, right, so I'm able to do that, so I should not allow it, correct? So to fix the issue, right, let's go in your code, and what I'll do, right, in this div I will also add one more thing, which is my height full, which will give 100%. If I hover on this, right, I have height full, which I need for this one, right? So save the changes, and now if you go here, and now you will not be able to see that gap. Even if I refresh the page, when it was a white background, you will not be able to see. So now that issue is gone, so now you are not able to click it anymore. Okay, now if you see, right, I did something similar here, height full. Okay, and I have added something similar class here as well for the iframe. Okay, so you might be thinking why I have added like this. So just to again recall few things, right, as I was telling you about the conversion, so we have this CSS to Tailwind. So what you can do, right, you can copy your CSS here, and there it will help you to give this all the class name. Okay, so that's why I always recommend, if you are a beginner with Tailwind CSS, and if you know CSS already, then you should use this website, and it will help you to do the transformation. Okay, so now I can copy all these three name. Rather than using this iframe, I can remove it. I can go here in the HTML and I can put it here. Okay, so now it has width full, which is required. It also has absolute, and it also has height full, and save the changes. Okay, go back again and you will see the same. Okay, so now it is working fine. So now the next thing what we will focus, right, we will have to create the video carousel, and to get those videos, so we have to make use of the TMDB API. So that is what we are going to do next. So to get the TMDB API, you just need to go on Google and search for TMDB API, and you have to hit the first link what you see, get started. Okay, so once you click here, right, you will have to create a free account here in TMDB, and I have already created a new account. So what I can do, I just need to do login, and once you do login, right, then you will have access to use all these API endpoints, right? Here you can see whatever data you need, right? So you can access all of them from here. Okay, so but before that you have to first sign up, and then you have to log into this TMDB API. So let me log in with my existing account. So as you can see, I have logged in successfully, and this is my username, and let me just go here on the API references. Now here if you see that, all you need to do is you just have to pick your language. You can see the header value is already selected, and you can try it out all the APIs. Okay, whatever they have, right, you can check them here on this playground. Okay, but what we will do, right, so now once we are logged in successful, we have to do some configuration to use this API endpoints, correct? So what I will do, right, I will help you guys to how we can create this all this request, right, in Angular. So I will be helping you with those. Okay, so let's go ahead in your Angular and let's create a movie service. All right, so here in the Angular application, let's open up your services in the shared. So let's go in the shared folder in the services, and let's create our service. The service name would be movie service, so I'll give the name as movie. Once the service is created, let's open it up, and now just inject the HTTP client. So we have to inject the HTTP, so let's inject that HTTP client. Okay, so this is how it should be, and we need to do the import first on the top. I think the IntelliSense is not working, so let's say import from @angular, okay, /common, and we know that it is coming from HTTP. So okay, that's how it is, and just write in the name of the class, which is HTTP client. Okay, now we can make use of this HTTP client here, and that's it. Now we will be able to do API call. But before that, right, to do the API call to this TMDB API, we have to first create one option. If you see here, right, so whenever we are doing the API call, so here we are creating the API endpoint, and we are creating an option. Okay, and this option, you know, once you have logged in successful, you will get this by default your token, so that you can do the API call here. So for me, I have already did this, so let me just show you how to do that. So let's create a const with an option. Okay, in this option we have to specify a few params here. So these are the params what you can add for your movies, and it all depends on you, okay, how you need it. So this is what my params are, and now in this option I have to pass my headers, and for this headers again we have to create an object, and this header object we need to pass two things. First is the accept property, and another one should be our import. So that's how the header should look like. So this is my token provided by the TMDB, and this is my accept, what I was just saying that. So this is how my header should look like. We should have accept and authorization, and in the authorization this is a bearer token, so that's what you need to mention it here. Okay, and now I can see your options is ready. These options I have to use it whenever I am doing the API call. For example, I am doing a get call. Okay, so I'm doing get movies. All right, and in this get movies, what I can do, I can just say return. Okay, just like how I do, right, in whenever I create API endpoint. So we have to say return this dot http dot get. Okay, we can specify the type later on, so let me put any at the moment, and you need to pass your API URL. Okay, and in this URL, right, once you have your URL, and that you will get it from TMDB, but you need to pass this extra thing which is option. Okay, so this option you need to pass with all the API calls. So now I need to add up this value here, right? This is empty, so I need to add it up. So what I will do, right, I'll go in discover and I'll go in this movie. So once I click here, right, this is what the API URL is. So I can just copy this everything. Okay, I can copy till here. Okay, movie, and we can go here and paste it. Okay, and now if you see, right, I am already passing the options, right, and I have this params. Okay, so that's what it is they are showing. So if you want to include some params, then you can do it from here also. See, you can add all the params what you need. So this is what I have added there already, so you don't need to add all this include. Okay, so this is what my option is with params, and now I can do this API call. So now what I will do, right, I have to call this API in my browse. So let's go in the browse component, and over here let's inject the service. So the service name was movie service, and we'll say inject, and let's call the name of the class which is movie service. Okay, and now what you will do, right, let's implement your on init, and in this on init we have to definitely implement the ng on init. Okay, but what I'll do, I'll put it below because this is not good practice to keep it top. I'll put it after all the property declaration. Okay, and now I can do this dot. Okay, I have movie service dot get movie. Okay, so I can subscribe to it, so I can say dot subscribe, and I can check the response what I get from the API. So I can just do console.log and respond. Okay, so now once I save the changes, save everything, and let's see if the compile is success. Yes, now if I go here, and now see it is failing because why? We are using HTTP client, right, and maybe we haven't imported the HTTP client module. Okay, so in the standalone, what you need to do, right, you have to go into your app.config.ts, and you just need to add in this providers array with HTTP. I think it's not with, it's provide HTTP client, I guess. Yes, provide HTTP client, and that's it. Okay, so once you add this in the providers array, and this is also imported automatically once I press tab, and now you will be able to use it. Okay, so now see, there is no issues. Let's sign in into your application. So if I refresh the page, let me do inspect element, and let me detach, put it below, and now if I refresh the page, I should be able to see that object. Okay, so if I refresh, I can see this page 1, and I have 20 results. Okay, and here I can see, right, I have few data set here already, and this data set I need to use it. Okay, so I will be using this data set to create my movie list here. Okay, so now to display the movie list, so as you know, right, we are using that carousel, movie carousel, something like that. So I will be using some library which is swiper.js. Okay, so we can find it on npm. Okay, so we will be using this swiper in Angular. So to use it, right, first we need to install it. So let's go ahead and install this swiper. So copy this, and let's go in your project and open up your terminal and paste this npm install swiper. Okay, so once this is installed, what we will do, right, we will create a card carousel component in our shared component. Okay, so I'll go in the shared folder in the component. I will create that component first. So let's create the component, and the component name is movie carousel. I don't know if the spelling is correct or wrong, but yeah, let's see. Let's create that movie carousel component, and again I need to make it as standalone. So let's say standalone as true. Okay, so that's what we have at the moment. And also one thing, I think I have created a different schematic, so it is not creating SCSS file. So let me change it with SCSS file, rename it to SCSS. Now this is perfect. So now I have a component movie carousel with everything correct. Now what I will do, right, first to create that swiper thing, that swiper has been added successfully, first I need to create a container. Okay, so let me have my code snippet and let me paste it here so that I can explain the code. So here if you see, right, I have a container of a div, and inside that I have added few padding and margin top with also a margin bottom of 20. Okay, so this is what I have, a div, and just below that I have my title. Okay, so this will be basically the title of my movie, and this is very important thing. So this swiper container, so I have created a template reference variable which is swiper container, and I will be using this swiper container to do my job. I will show you that how I will be doing it in the TS file. Okay, but this is very important to add this template reference variable, and I added this class as swiper container because I will be using a lot of CSS for it too, because I want to customize our existing swiper. And this is how the code looks like for the swiper wrapper, and inside this wrapper I will have a ng for where I will loop in all my data, like for example the title, the overview, and the average of the movie and what. Let's save the changes and let's see if there is any issues in the compile time. Yes, there is no such issue. And let me go ahead and put it inside my browse component. Okay, so as this is my component created, so this is movie carousel. So we can add movie carousel component, and we can use the selector just below this banner. Okay, so I can say app-movie carousel and save the changes. Okay, let's save it everywhere and compile. And now if you go here, right, so you should be able to see something like this. So what I'm doing, right, I'm trying to display a title, okay, something like this, and putting some average and all. So currently it is not looking like a swiper because we need to add a lot of CSS now. Okay, so now before that, let me add the SCSS already which I have created for it. So let me copy it from my snippet and paste it here. And here if you see, right, and don't worry guys, I will be providing the GitHub link for you so that you can take a look. This is a very basic CSS just to add some animations, margin and stuff like that. Okay, so that's what I have did it, nothing very major. Okay, so as you can see, I have this list of CSS added for the swiper. Okay, let me save the changes and let me show it to you how it looks like here. So if you see, right, currently I am getting this hover effect or something like that, but this is not still correct because I need to load the data and do a lot of things here. Okay, because these are all random data what I have added. If you see here in the HTML file, I'm just saying movie of 1 2 3 and it is only displaying 3 times. Okay, that's now what I will do, right, I will have to initialize my swiper. Okay, so for that let me go in the swiper component.t, and this is very important part. So what I will do, right, first of all I will have to grab that container. So I will make use of view child. Okay, in the view child I will take that swiper container. So if you remember, right, I have added this template reference variable, so copy this reference variable and put it here. Okay, and once you add this, right, so we can create this swiper container. So I can give the same name, it's up to us. So I can give the same name, swiper container, and this is of type element ref. Okay, so we are using element ref for it. Now what I will do, right, so now we have to initialize our swiper. So let me initialize the swiper by saying private, okay, private initialize swiper. Okay, and inside this, right, inside this what I can do, right, all I need to do is just need to say return what, return new swiper. So I'm using this swiper class which is again imported from the top if you see, and inside that you have to provide a very important thing which is your CSS element. Okay, so I already have this element ref, right, so what I will do, I will say this dot swiper container dot native element. Okay, so once you provide the native element, and you need to pass options. So the options is nothing but an object what you can pass. Okay, and in this object what you will have 3 important things. For example, not 3, it's 4. So first thing is slides per view. Okay, how much slides you need per view, what are the slides per group, and do you want the slide to be centered and all that, and you want an infinite loop so that you can mention it here. Okay, and one more important object you can pass it here. If you want to make it a little bit what do we say, responsive, that also you can do by adding a breakpoint. Okay, so you can see you have a breakpoint axis here, and you can make use of this breakpoint to change this configuration. Okay, for example, if the screen size is 600, then how you want to change the configuration, so something like that. So for example, you can again change the above things like this. Okay, so this is the by default one, and if you want to change it based on screen size, that also you. Okay, so I have bunch of configuration already done for some screens, so I can just take them up and put it here so that you can just copy paste and you can check, and you can change them as per your requirement. Okay, so this is what the breakpoint is all about. Okay, so you can change them as per your requirement. Okay, how you want to do. All right, so now that's what the main configuration was. So now as you can see, right, the swiper is initialized, but we are not using it. So what I will do, right, as this is all about view, okay, because the swiper belongs to the view of, so because we are doing something in the DOM, right, so this is your DOM which you want to manipulate. So you can initialize this swiper in ng after view init. Okay, so let me take that interface ng after view init. Okay, so once we have this, so let's also implement the after view init lifecycle hook. And what I will do, right, I will just try to call this initialize. So I'll say this dot initialize the swipe. Okay, so and this will initialize the swiper for us, and let's save the changes and let's see on the browser how it. Okay, so this is how my swiper is at the moment. I can see the box looks quite good now. So this is how the box is, and if I hover, and it gives me some information like that. Okay, so the swiper initialization is also done. Now we have to style a bit so that we can see them like one after the other, like it's all vertical, right? So we don't want to see vertical, we want to make it horizontal. So to make it horizontal, right, all we need to do is that as we are using swiper already, but the main thing what we have missed is that we need to import the CSS, correct? So let's import that CSS of swiper by saying import, and from where you will import it from node modules. Okay, and inside node modules you will have a swiper now because you have installed it successfully, and inside that you will have swiper.scss. okay, and if you save the changes, right, and now if you go back to your view, okay, so now you can see all of them horizontal. All right, so now let's use this API endpoint which we have already used it in the browse, right? In the browse component we are doing the API call, and what we will do, right, we will make use of this data and we will display it in the app carousel. Okay, so what we will do now, we will try to make it dynamic. So to do that, right, so we'll have to make use of @input, and we have to make this as child component. So what we will do, right, so let's go ahead and create a input property @input, and let's give it a name as video contents, and that's it. And we can specify a type also. So I will specify the type now. Let me show you how I can get the type of it. So what I'll do, right, I'll go here, inspect element, okay, get this object, okay, open up this result, and what I will do, right, I'll just copy this whole object. Okay, so I can copy the object, go here, I will convert TS, or I can say JSON to TS. I will use this one. Okay, let me go here and paste the object. Okay, so once I paste the object, I can see my interface is ready. So I'll copy this interface, go inside your shared component, and let me create a model. And in the models, let me give the name as video content.interface.ts, paste it here, and let's make this as iVideo content. Okay, and now we can use this type. So what I'll do, right, I'll go here and change it with iVideo content. Okay, because this will be an array, so that's why I have it as an array. Okay, so this will be array of video content. Now what I'll do, right, I'll go here in the browse, and if you know, right, so we have this response as an array. So what we can do, right, I can pass it here. Okay, so rather than what I'll say, pass the movie, so video content. Okay, video content, and what I'll pass it here as the response, correct? So we are getting it in the response, so I will create that first. So this I can say it as popular movie. So popular movies, I give the name as that, and this will be of type iVideo content of an array. And what I'll do, right, here in the console.log, I'll say this dot popular movies equals to response dot result. Okay, that's it. Because if you remember, right, this is what I'm getting in the response. So I have an object, and inside that I have result. So thank God I have seen it, because this is S result. Okay, so I can change it to S. So now I will get this array inside. Also what I can do, right, I want to also display the title of that movie. So I will again take one more input. I'll take one more input. So I'll take input here. I'll give it as title. Well, it depends, like what is the title of that particular carousel, right? We can have different carousels, so that's why. So I'll have it as a title of type string, and that also I can pass it from here itself. So again, let's go component in the HTML, and here first of all let's pass the popular movies, and then I can pass the title. So by saying square bracket, and the title of this will be popular movies, something like this, and save the changes. Okay, so once I save the changes, it will still not display, because as you know, right, in the child component I have this video content, but now I'll have to use it. So what I'll do, rather than this list, I will remove it and I will use video content. Okay, if you remember, right, I have a title of the movie. So let me open up this object again, and from here this will help me to get those things done. So I know that this is the title of the movie, so the name is original title. Okay, so anyway, if we are using the types, right, types of the video, so this will help me for sure. I can say movie dot, see I'm getting the help, so this is the title of the movie. So here I need the overview of the movie, so I can just say here that movie dot, there should be overview, yes, overview. Then we have average rating, so we can put average rating also. So movie dot, should be some rating or popularity, I don't know, let me we have vote count or vote average, any is fine, so we can use vote average, is sound more specific. And over here title, right, so we can render the title like this. So this is my title which is coming from the input, okay, and save the changes. Okay, so once I save the changes, now I should be able to render some dynamic value. So here it breaks because I think we have it. Go here and save all the changes. So after saving the changes, you should be able to see it. Let's go in the Chrome, and now if I go in the popular movies, see I'm able to see the name of the movie, yes or no. So I'm able to see the name that Trolls Band Together and what. Okay, so now this works fine. Okay, so I can see it is rendering the movie along with the average. Okay, I can swipe here also. Alright, so that's how it works. I know there are some fields are going outside of it, but we'll try to fix it, no worry. Okay, so now this works fine. Now what we will do, right, to display the images, so we have something in that API also. So let me show you the API, and in the API, right, we have a backdrop or something like the backdrop path. Okay, or we have a poster path. So here if you see, right, if I'm trying to access this poster path, okay, this will not work. Because why, right? We need an initial URL to use this. Like for example, this is the URL, right? And now if I show you, right, so we need to so this URLs are provided by IMDb, right, TMDB. So what we will do, right, so let me just copy the URL from here and paste it here. Okay, so that's how it will be. So we have to use this initial what we say, the domain of that. So we can specify the width of the image by saying W500, and this is the key. Okay, so this is the key of that image, and now if I hit enter, so I should be able to get the particular backdrop of that movie. Okay, or you can say the poster. Okay, so which means, right, we have to append this URL to all the images. Okay, so if I go here, okay, if I go here and if I try to directly put, or if I try to directly say here as, for example, movie dot, where is that image backdrop? That was the poster path, yeah, poster path. So this will not work. Okay, why? Because we have to initialize it first. Okay, we have to initialize it first with this URL. Okay, so I need to copy this URL, copy this and paste it here. Okay, save the changes. Okay, save the changes, and now I should be able to see it. So now can you see, right, if I show you on the top, I am able to get, so now I can see all the images as well. Okay, I can see all the images and how beautiful it looks. So now if you see, right, now I have images, I have titles, I have average, I have everything, but the thing is, right, it's still not looking good because this is all black and we have all this white background. This is because I wanted something in dark mode. Okay, so what I'll do, right, I'll go back in my HTML of the app component.html, and what I will do, right, I will wrap this router outlet inside a main tag. Okay, and inside the main I will have this router outlet, and I will provide some CSS by Tailwind. Okay, so let me use the Tailwind classes here. So first thing, I will give it a height as full. Okay, text should be neutral so that it should be all white color. Okay, and I want to apply a BG color, so I'll say BG. I want to specify my own color, so that's how you specify your own custom color in Tailwind CSS. Okay, BG141414, and overflow X should be hidden. Okay, and once I do all this thing, let me save the changes, and you will see something very interesting now. So see, now everything is in black color, and now you can see all your title and the overview all are coming like proper, right, in white color, and you can read them as well. Now they all are readable, but I see one problem here, that here if you see, right, the contents are going outside of it. Okay, so which I don't need that, correct? So they are going outside the card. So what I can do, right, I can be smart enough and I can create a substring, so I can remove the extra content. Like I should only allow 140 characters or something like that. Okay, if you want to see more, then he should click on this movie and he can see in view detail page. Okay, so what we'll do, right, let's create that. So how do we create that in Angular, right? So rather than doing it one by one for all the for each loop, like looping into it, so we will create a pipe. Okay, so let's create a pipe inside this shared folder. Okay, let me create a folder first, pipes, and in the pipes I will create the pipe name. Let me give it as description. Okay, so let's create a pipe here, generate pipe, give name it as description pipe, hit enter, and here you can see the pipe is created. All you need to do, just make it as standalone true, because this is a standalone pipe. Okay, if you don't know how to create a pipe, you can make use of CLI, Angular CLI ng generate pipe, and give the pipe name as description, and it will create a standalone pipe for you because you're using Angular version 16. So standalone is by default. So now let's go here in the pipe, and now what we will do, right? Rather than returning null, what we will do, we will return, so whatever value I'm getting, right? So value, okay, so value dot substring. So I will make use of substring because value is of type string. So let me change it to string. Okay, and now I can make use of dot substring. Okay, so in the substring you will specify the start number. It should start from 0 and it should end till 140. So it will only take 140. Okay, and after that character, right, you can add something like this. So after the character ends, after 140 character, it should give dot dot dot. Okay, so rather than doing like this, we can also make use of string interpolation. So that is another good practice that you should use. So let's make use of string interpolation by adding a backtick, paste what I have already added, and now what you can see, you can just say, okay, now after this is done, so you can come outside of it and you can say dot dot. Okay, so now what you will do, you will pass a value to this, which is the pipe value what you will get, and you will convert that into only 140. Okay, 141. And once that is done, let's save the changes now. And where you want to use the pipe, you want to use it in browse. Okay, browse. So go here and import that. The pipe name was description pipe. Okay, and where you want to use it, you want to use it on the overview of it, correct? So wherever you have overview, so there you will use. Okay, I did a mistake, right? I don't want it to use it in browse component, so let me remove it. Sorry. We'll have to use it in the actual movie carousel. Okay, so that is present inside your component. Oh, sorry, it's in our shared. So let's go in the shared component, and in the movie component.html, here you need to import the description pipe. Okay, so your description pipe imported, and let's go here and put it here on the overview by saying description. So once you add this description, save the changes, and now you will see the magic of Angular's pipe. Okay, so now it is throwing error because again I think I haven't saved the changes. So let me save all the changes. Okay, now let me open up my terminal also, see if there is any. Yeah, it's fine now. Let's open up your Chrome, and now can you see, right, after 140 character, I can see there is a dot dot dot. Okay, so if you want to change it, so you can change it. Suppose if you want to make it dynamic, right, for example, I don't want to say it's always 140, so you can pass in your own argument by saying, okay, make this as 200. Okay, so what you will do, right, so now you are passing a argument, correct? So go into your pipe. Now you have a arg value. Okay, so what you can do, right, you can do, so this is of type string again, so this is coming as a string from there. So rather than sending a string, you can send a number directly, right? So let me change it to number, and this should throw error now because now you should pass how much character you want. So I'll say 200, and after saying 200, right, so after saying 200, let me save the changes, and now go inside your pipe. Now you can pass your argument here. So I can pass here args, and args is of type number. Save the changes, and now you will see the magic. Okay, so here if you see, right, now you can change it based on how many character you want. So now it takes 200 character. Okay, but you see, right, still for some of them it is going out. So that's why I think I have made it as 140. Okay, so it all depends on you. Now you have made it configurable based on your preference. Okay, you want 150 or you want 140, so you can do. Okay, and that's how you can make use of pipe in Angular. Okay, so now you guys know what pipe is in Angular, and as you can see, we have already created our pipe. So based on that, let me also try to refactor this code. And what I'm doing here, right, so this is not good, so I'm putting this as static, right? So what I can do, right, rather than doing it like this, I can create a pipe for this also. So let's go again in the pipe, create a new pipe. Okay, so the pipe name will be image. Let's go in the pipe and make it standalone. Now what I need to do, right, so rather than doing it manually, so I'll go here, cut this thing. Okay, so now here what I will return the value, right? So again, let me do the string concatenation. Okay, paste the changes here. Okay, so what I need to do, how I need to do, right, I will paste this. So this is the image what I will be getting, and now I will pass in the value here. Okay, so I can pass the value like this, and now this will transform all my images into this complete URL. So now rather than passing it like that, now I'll go here and import the pipe here first. So let me import it here. So the pipe name is image pipe. Go in the HTML, replace this with a pipe. So I can say pipe and give it a name as image. Okay, so once I did this, save all changes. So compile success, go back on the browser, and you should be able to see. Okay, so now this is failing, right? So this is failing. Let me see why. What is the problem that it is failing? So you can check that in compile. So if I check here in the compilation, and now if I check in the console, what is the error? If I refresh the changes, okay, so can you see now it gives me that it is an unsafe URL? Yes or no? It gives me that this is an unsafe URL, and because of that, I think this is adding some slash or something like that. Okay, so let's go back here. I think we are missing something, so let me fix that. So go in the image pipe. Okay, you don't need to do this. Sorry, you don't need to do this because this is already we have added a backtake. Okay, so no need to add our own quotes there. So now you do that. Let me see if it is still fine now. So now if I go here and I can see all the images again. Okay, so now that fix your issues because I have added quotes. That's why. So now you can see right now you can create your own pipes and you can see what are the use cases of pipe in Angular. Okay, so now what last thing I need to do, right? So currently if you see we have only one movie. Okay, so only one movie which is rendered here, which is popular movie. So what I can do, right, I can do different API calls in the movie services and I can call all of them in the browse component. Okay, so in the browse component I can do multiple API calls. So let me first create all the services in the movies. So here if you see right now I will be pasting a lot of API endpoint already which I have created. So I'm pasting it here. Okay, so you can find the link of everything in my GitHub URL which I will be giving you guys, and make sure to give it a star guys if you love that, if you love this project, right? I will be pushing up everything on GitHub and you can access that code as well. If you love that code, then please make sure to give it a GitHub star. Alright, so now here if you see right, we have already created get movies. So now I have created different endpoints like get TV shows, get rated movies, get banner image. You remember right, we are showing a image there. Okay, banner image, so that also you can get it from here. Then we have the banner video that you can get it from here. You can get banner detail. Okay, so you can get now playing movies, popular movies, top rated movies, and upcoming movies. So now we have list of services created. This all are get call. Okay, so now what I'll do, right, I'll call all of them inside my browse component. Okay, so where is my browse component? It's in the pages and here. So now here I will be doing a API call. So now if you know, right, I want to do multiple API calls. So what I will I will make use of a fork join. Okay, so to use a fork join, right, I will have to first create a source of observables. Okay, so let me create a source of observable first. So let me do it below here. So I'll say here sources. Okay, and inside that I will put all the list of movies, like the service what I have created. So here if you see right, I have all the sources like get movies, get TV shows, top rated movies and all. Okay, so let's make use of this source. So now what this will be, this is array of observable. Okay, and now I can subscribe to it by using a fork join. So let me go in ng on it. So now I don't need to do one by one. So let me remove this. And now what I'll do, I'll make use of fork join. This is coming from, if you see on the top, I have imported it from RxJS. Okay, in the fork join, this requires an array of observables. So I'll pass this dot sources. Okay, and now I can make use of if I do subscribe, right, I will get list of all the movies. Okay, I will get list of all the movies. So now what I will do, right, I will make use of pipe now. So let me use of pipe again, coming from RxJS, and here I will make use of map. Okay, so in the map, right, what I'll do, I will get all the values. Okay, so the first thing I will have is as movies. Okay, then I will get the TV shows. So whatever the array value I have called right on the top. So for example, movies, TV shows, rated movies and all this. So I will get them inside this. So what I'm doing, right, I'm mapping them, all of them, into this array. Okay, because I'll get array of responses. Correct. So I'll map them inside this. And what I'll do, right, so let's go ahead and create a property so that I can store all of this information. Okay, so now to create the property, right, so what I'll do, so over here I have created one property which is popular movies. So let me remove this and let me add it with my own separate property. Okay, so here if you see, right, I have created about 7 properties. Okay, and all of them are type I video content. Okay, and if you go in this video content, right, I'll have to slightly modify it with some new changes. Okay, which I'll show it to you later. If I get any error, then I'll show it to you what are the new changes, but that's how this looks like. So I have created these 7 properties, and now all of these 7 properties will all of them will be returned. So now what I'll say, this is mapped, right, so whatever I have mapped it, I will just say return. Okay, so I'll just return them. Okay, I'll have to just return them as an object. So let me create this as an object. Okay, and inside this object I'm returning all of them. Okay, so once you return them, right, now I will get the data inside the subscribe. So I'll say subscribe, and in the subscribe, okay, make it type any. And now what you will do, right, you'll have to just store like all of them. The response, you have to just store it like this, what I'm doing, right. So that's how you'll store all of them. So now in this movies, you'll get res.movies, because response.movie, which is this object. Okay, response.movies.result, and this is of type I video content, and that's how you are storing all the other properties here. Okay, so now your properties are updated success, correct. And now what you will do, right? Now you will go back in the browse component.html. So here if you see, right, again you have to, so you will have about 7 app carousels. Okay, so you'll have to create 7 app carousel based on different titles. Okay, so that you can create it, correct? So let me just show it to you how you should do that. So now you will have 7 movie titles here, app carousel. Okay, so this is how that it looks like. So I have put it here as movie carousel, so I just need to change it as Control F, change it with app. So let me just check what is the actual name what we have given. So app movie carousel. So I'll change all of them with, because I have copied it my snippet, code snippet, so that's why. Let me replace all of them with app, and yeah, that's it. So now if you see, right, so this is what our selector what I'm using. So in the selector I have this app movie carousel. I need to provide a title, popular on Netflix, that's why I have it, and I added the movie video content. Okay, so now as this is done, save all the changes, and you should see that okay, it is failing for some of the component because I haven't saved the changes. So let me save all the changes, and I can see compile. Okay, so now if I go back here, so as you can see, I'm displaying the title and I'm displaying the different content based on whatever I have fetched. Okay, so as you can see, right, I'm able to see all the data from here. So now let me teach you a very important thing in this whole video. Okay, so the thing is, right, so now I don't like this title to be visible all the time, okay, on this video carousel. So this is not good. So what I'll do, right, whenever I will hover on them, at that time only I want to see the title and the overview and all this vote average and whatnot. Okay, so how I can do that? Okay, so let's see how to implement that in Angular. Okay, so what I'll do, right, first thing, so I'll go here and I will create a property first. Okay, so let me create a property here, and I will say here selected content, and this is of type string or null. Okay, and I will assign it value as null initial. Okay, save the changes. So you have a property now, correct? So now what you will do, right, so first of all, whenever you will enter the mouse, okay, so you have to set the hover movie, so that you can say that okay, so this movie is hovered at the moment, correct? So for that you will have to create a method just below this, and what you will say, set what, hover movie. Okay, and you will pass the movie over here. Okay, movie of type I video content. Okay, and over here, right, what you will do, you will say okay, this dot selected content, if it is equal to, okay, so here you will pass it, right, so you are setting the value, correct? So you will say selected content is movie dot title. Okay, or if this is null, right, so for example, at sometimes the API gives title as null. Okay, so what we can do, right, we can create an interface. So you have one more property which you can add from the API, which is name. Okay, so you will check for two things. So that's what I was talking about, the change in the interface. So let me add this name property also. So now what I will do, if the movie dot title is null, okay, then what I will take, I will say that okay, then please set the property with name. Okay, so that's what I will be doing. Okay, so set hover movie. So hover movie is set, right? So I got the content. So now also I need to clear it. So I'll say clear hover movie. Okay, and how do you clear this? You'll just say this dot selected content, and you will make it this as null. So now my method is done. My method is created. Okay, so now I need to use it in the HTML. Okay, so where I will use it exactly? So over here, right, you have this div. So whenever you hover on that, okay, so I will say, right, whenever the mouse is entering, okay, whenever the mouse enters, you will set the hover movie. So set hover movie, and you will just pass in the movie value from, okay, and whenever you leave the movie, right, so you'll say mouse leave. See, you have this, then you will clear the hover movie. Okay, so this is done. Now what you need to do, right, so now you have to put it on the image, right? So let's go in the image, and just below that, right, you have the content to display. So this is what you want to hide it from the user. So whenever you hover, then only you want to show them, correct? So for that I will make use of ngIf. Okay, so as you can see, right, now this is standalone, so you will have to import the ngIf also, so that you want to use ngIf. Okay, so that's how you have imported, and now you can make use of ngIf. So ngIf, and this will be your condition. So now if you say movie dot title, okay, if it is equal to this dot, okay, this dot selected content, or I have one more, right, so or what if the movie dot name, okay, if it is equal to my selected content. If they both are same, right, then what I will do, I will ask them to show the image, show the description basic. So let me save all the changes. Okay, so the changes are saved, and now let's see if that works. So now if you see, right, I cannot see the title and I cannot see the overview and I cannot see the movie average. So once I hover on it, right, then only I will be able to see it. Once I hover, I'm able to see it. Yes or no? So now this is also done. So see how beautiful this looks. But I see there is one small problem that it is quite snappy. Okay, I want to add some animation. Okay, so I can add animation from CSS, but let me teach you something very interesting, that how to use animation in CSS, animation in Angular, not CSS, Angular. So here, right, so I have something called as animation here. Okay, if you see, right, I've already added this. So now you can see we have an animations array, and inside that I want to create a fade animation. Okay, so I can say it as trigger, and I gave the animation name as fade. Okay, and inside this you can add all the transition and animate, like this is all my methods, right? So in this transition you can say it as continuous, like void go and end, so start and end, and you provide the style here. So the style will be your opacity. That opacity is 0 initially, and then whenever you like when you are doing the fade, that whenever you are opening up that, so you are adding the 300 ms delay, and now you are changing the style opacity to 1, so from 0 to 1. So that's how it will be something like fade, and that's how you create animations in Angular. Okay, so this is how you create animation in Angular. This is one of the small example where I have shown you how to create a fade animation. Okay, but this is not done, right? We have created the animation and we have to make use of it. To use it, right, so you'll go here and you'll make use of @fade. Okay, see also the name as well, the fade. Once you save the changes, and now if you hover, right, still you see it is snappy. Why? Because whenever you make use of animation of Angular, you need to import a very important thing, which is browser animation. Import from what I remember last time, it is from Angular/platform browser. Okay, and what we can say, right, the name was provide browser animation. Okay, so this is still half, so let me change it to animations. Yes, so now there will be something called as provide animations. Yes, and this is what I want to use it in the array. So I'll say provide animations. This, save all the changes, and the compile should be success. And now if you go, right, so now can you see there is some fade? So it is faded, a little bit faded. Okay, so if you want to see the faded effect more, then you can increase the duration from 300 to 1 second, and you can see that. But as you can see, right, once I hover, I'm getting this faded. Okay, so now most of our things are done, but all we need to do is just change the title and this overview of our banner. Okay, because this is currently static. Okay, to make the changes, what I'm thinking, right, so what we will do, we'll pass the title and overview from the first movie what we see here, right? So we'll try to send it this title and this thing to the user, to that particular banner component. So to do so, right, we will have to create the two inputs. So let's go in the banner component.ts and let's create our input. So this is our first input, and this input will have okay, let's give it a name as title, or let's be specific, banner title, and initialize it is as empty. And again I will have one more input, and this input will be for banner overview. Okay, anyway, this, it's up to you if you want to prefix it with banner or not, because anyway you're in a banner component, so that really makes sense. But just for your guys, for your understanding, I have put it as a prefix as banner. Okay, save the changes. Now I'll have to provide this data. Let's go in your browse component.html, and here if you want, right, if you want to make this as what we say compulsory, so that it should throw error, something like that. So we have a new feature in Angular that you can make them required. So if you say here required as true, and now you will see the magic of that. So if I say required true, that it should definitely have a title. See, now I'm getting error here. So to fix the error for the selector, you need to provide the banner title. So here I need to provide some title here. So what I will do, right, I want to make it dynamic, right? So as you know that I have created the API service, so I will be doing those API call here in the browse component.ts. Okay, so what I will do, right, so whenever I am doing the fork join, in that I have this map, right, and what I will do, right, I will make use of these movies, and I'll make use of the first, right, so in every movies have its own ID, title and everything, correct? But what I will do, I'll make use of the API call, okay, to get the details of the movie. Okay, so what I will do, right, I have this something called as movie service dot get the banner detail. Okay, so I need an ID here. To get the ID, I will make use of the movies. Okay, movies, and then I have movies.results, and in the results I will use the first movie, and from that first movie I need ID. Okay, so now it will take the ID of it, correct? So now this becomes this is my observable, correct? So this is my observable of type object. So what I will do, right, I'll create one observable here, banner detail observable. Okay, and now I will say new observable of type any. Okay, and now I will assign this observable to this guy. So I will say this dot banner observable equals to this, and now this is an observable, right? So we can make use of async pipe here. So what I will do, I'll make use of async pipe to get the title. So for using the async pipe, it's easy. All you need to do is put your banner detail and make use of this async. Okay, and this async is coming because I have imported something called as common module. Yeah, see, the common module is here, so I can make use of async pipe. Or if you are not using a common module, then you have to specifically import async. Okay, so now this is my async pipe, and in this I will have my original title. Okay, so that I can put it here, original hyphen title. Okay, and now this should be able to, so this should be working. So let me just make it as nullable, save the changes, and now I should be able to see the title here. So let's go in the browser and go down. As I can see, the title is here, freelance. Okay, now in the same way I need the overview. So what I'll do, again go back in the browse here, and I'll copy the same, paste it here. So this will change to banner overview, and this should change to overview. Okay, save the changes, and let's go back and see if it is working. So can you see, now I have a beautiful title, and also I have this, okay, the overview. Now this is done. Now I want to make it dynamic, right? So this title, no, not the title, the tailor should also be dynamic. To make that dynamic, again we have to do the API call. So let's go in the browse component.ts. Again I need the title, right? So I will do one more thing. Let me create the observable stream first. So I'll copy something like this, copy the same, paste it here. So this becomes my banner video. Okay, banner video. And now what I'll do, let's go down, and in this, right, I'll do one more API call here, copy this, paste it, and this should become my banner video. Okay, as an observable. Over here I'll change it to get banner video, and I'm sending the ID. Okay, so now if you see, right, if I'm doing this observable call, let me save the changes. Let me show you the network call first. Okay, let's go here and show you the network call. Let's go in the network, refresh the page, and now you should be able to see the network call. Okay, let me play this. Yes, in the network. So here you can see I have this network call videos. If I open up this, and here you can see the result. Okay, so in the result for this video ID, I have two trailers here. Okay, so what I will do, right, I will make use of the first trailer only. Okay, so here you can see that I have a type trailer, and if I open up this like that, see I have these two trailer, right? Now I want to use the first trailer, or I can just check for if the type is trailer, then I will use that particular key. Okay, so this is what the important thing is. I need this key right now. So from this, if you remember, I just only need to pass the key value, because if you go in the banner component.ts, I just need to make this guy dynamic. Correct, this will be my key value. So to do the key value, again let's go in the ts file, and from here this is my observable. So let's go in the banner.ts, and I need a key. So I'll say @input, and this will be my key. Okay, so this key is nothing but empty for now, and now here I will pass the key here like key, and again this is my banner video. I'll make use of async. Let me do like this. Now I'll make this as async, and now let's open up this bracket. Okay, after bracket I know that I will get a results, and in the results I'll take the first result, and then from that I have a key. Okay, so now I will be able to send the key to the child component. Okay, let's save all the changes. All right, now I make use of ng on changes. So I'll have to implement the interface on changes, and inside that on changes, let me quick fix and here import this on changes, and let me put it below. Okay, over here, right, what I'll do, I'll first check if changes is of key. Okay, if it is coming from key, then only it should come inside this. Then I'll have to create the video URL. Okay, I'll have to create the video URL. So the video URL will be like this, video URL. Okay, and I can copy the URL from here, from the HTML in the banner, copy everything, paste it here. Okay, and now this guy has to be dynamic. So what I will do, I'll cut everything. I'll make use of backtick. Okay, backtick, the string literal, paste it here, and you can change this. So I will make use of dynamic. So let's make this as key. Okay, so this will be my key. Okay, so once the key changes, the trailer will also change, and this video URL I can apply it on the HTML. So no need of this. So let's make this property binding and remove this and add here video URL. Okay, save the changes. Okay, save here as well, so that the compile is set. So now what I'll do, right, whenever I'm getting a key, okay, whenever someone is changing the key in the input, so I will use to update my video URL. Okay, but there is one issue, right? If I show you that issue, if I go back on the browser, okay, so I will not be able to see the trailer. See, the trailer is blank, and I will be getting an error that this is not a safe URL. Okay, and for that, this is a very important thing, right? In Angular, we have to always sanitize our URL, external URL. So to do the sanitization, I will require something called as sanitizer. Okay, so let's use this DOM sanitizer, and now let's change this name to let me just put only sanitize. All right, so now what I will do, I will have to provide this link with sanitization. So I will say this dot, okay, sanitizer dot, then you have this bypass security and trust resource URL, and in that you need to provide your URL. Okay, now once you provide the URL, and you will have to define the key also. So what I will do, so that's how you have initialized it. So if you want, right, you can assign an initial value to it. Okay, so as you were assigning it right previously, so let me just go here and assign the initial value to this. So this is my key, right? So I'll copy this key and I can put it here, save the changes, and now go back, and you should be able to see a trailer, okay, behind. So now you can see this is freelance movie, and you can see the trailer as well behind. But now if somebody changes that trailer ID, so that also you can update it here if you need. So you can update it by, so like something like that. So you can do here this dot video URL, okay, and if someone is changing it, right, so what you will do, you will again say this dot sanitize dot bypass and trust resource URL, and you will again copy the same thing below. If someone is updating the URL, then only you will have to do this. So that's why, just to be on safer side, I have did this. Okay, and now in this way, right, after doing all of this, now you will be having everything dynamic. Okay, you will have everything dynamic here. So for example, if I want to change the trailer ID, so let's go here, okay, and from the browse component.ts, if I change everything to, okay, so let me go here and change it to 1, and also change this to 1, save the changes, go back, and now you will be able to see a different title, different overview, and a different trailer as, okay. So that's how you can make all of them dynamic. So based on your need, you can do the changes, okay. And after doing all of this, now I can say that your Netflix clone is ready. Okay, so at least you have your home page ready here. As you can see, right, I have a beautiful looking header on the top, okay, and I have this profile, whoever logs in by using Google Auth. I have this sign out option as well, and then you can see a beautiful trailer, title, overview. Scroll down, as you can see the list of movies as well. Okay, so now we can say that your Netflix clone is ready. Okay, and if you still have any doubt or any issue related to this video, so you can mention them in the comment section. I will be happy to answer each and every questions whatever you have for this video, and also I will provide the link of GitHub in the source code. So let me just do one more thing. Let me do the last part of this by actually publishing it to the GitHub in front of you. So now I can just give this feed that completed Netflix clone and commit the changes. So publish the branch, let me allow the credentials. Okay, let me do it in front of you because a lot of people complain you're not uploading it and all that. So let me make it public. Okay, now it is publishing the branch, and now this branch is ready. So now you can find all the changes whatever I have made, okay, and you can play around with this Netflix clone. All right, and now also if you need any more video about some different topics, so you can also mention them, or you can connect with me on Instagram or Telegram. We can have a chat over there based on whatever requirement you have. And also you can follow me on LinkedIn because I try to post a lot of new things, like for example there is change in Angular and how things are changing in web development and all that. So I try to post something very interesting about it, so you can follow me there to get updated about web development. Also you have any sort of improvement for me to do in this video, so I can do that as well for you guys. Okay, so do let me know in the comment section for that. All right, so till that time, bye bye guys, and keep learning.